To celebrate Lisa's life, in support of the Marks family, in support of Mike, in support of your relationship if you've known Lisa for a long time. My father Steve's a lot, and I don't know whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, but I know the Murphy clan, and I know Pat and Mike, and so I've been invited to be part of this today. If you don't like Mike or you don't like Pat, don't not like me, okay? That's their issue. But there's a lot of wonderful people here today who loved and been a part of all this, how else can I say it, but this adventure of joy, sorrow, hope, but especially of love. This journey of Lisa's life. As we come together today, we ask God's grace to be with each of us in the way that we need. And so we just ask the Lord to open our hearts and our minds, our spirits, for that grace that we each need today. The Lord, listen kindly to our prayers today. As our faith in your Son, Jesus Christ, raised from the dead, is deepened. May our hope of resurrection for your departed servant Lisa also find new strength. To our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. We have a number of scriptures and eulogies to be shared today, and if Kelly would please come forward for our first scripture.
A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. Love is patient, love is kind. It is not jealous, love is not pompous. It is not inflated, it is not rude. It does not seek its own interests. It is not quick-tempered. It does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. If there are prophecies, they will be brought to nothing. If tongues, they will cease. If knowledge, it will be brought to nothing. For we know partially, and we prophesy partially, but when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I used to talk as a child, think as a child, and reason as a child. When I became a man, I put aside childish things. At present, we see indistinctly as in a mirror, but then face to face. At present, I know partially, then I shall know fully, as I am fully known. So faith, hope, love remain, these three, but the greatest of these is love. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
I was hoping I was going to get upgraded to that podium, but they said I got to come here. And I forgot my handkerchief that I bought at Neiman Marcus yesterday for $75, so I got it. Oh, it's good. Sleeve. It's fine. Good morning to everyone. I wasn't exactly sure what to say at the outset. What do you say? But buckle your seatbelts. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Our family and friends. There are friends that are here from Lisa's early life, as she grew up, friends that were her best friends at times. You grew up knowing that you have a small group of best friends, and then you have one best friend. She's also here. co-workers, people that Lisa has mentored, clients. Many of you have traveled from around the nation to be here this morning. And it is not lost on my family that you are all here. My family is very grateful for your attendance to celebrate the life of my sister, Lisa Elizabeth Michaels. And if it was not clear how impactful my sister was, this gathering certainly gives credence to that fact. And when I say impactful, I mean impactful. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Lisa's little brother, Greg. She'd insist otherwise and say that I was her big brother. But I'd say it's kind of nice to be little and have someone to actually look up to. Lisa was kind, patient, strong, physically and mentally, inspirational, a leader in life and in business, incredibly classy, fun. She was the nice version of the devil wears Prada. She's a sharp dresser, wickedly smart, wickedly beautiful, and for all intents and purposes, a unicorn. Evidently, the unicorn title is scientifically proven, and any of you that are aware of the Crazy Hot Dating Scale, which is available on YouTube, those of you that are aware, you can share it with your neighbor, because while funny and humorous, in all seriousness, my sister was a 10 out of 10 hot, and not more than a 3 out of 10 crazy. Lisa Elizabeth Michaels, born November 27th, 1962 in Seattle, Washington, to Diane and Sam Usher. In 1964, at the age of 18 months, my sister Kelly, my mom, their dad, moved to California in the San Fernando Valley, back when it was still crappy. And fortunately for me, life happens, and my mother met my father in February of 1970, where he started playing an enormous role in the girls' lives. My mother mentioned to me that when she started dating my father, a firefighter at the time, it became readily apparent that he was very, very, very meticulous. And he is, My father routinely boated on the Parker Strip in Arizona with my Uncle Jim. It only seemed fitting that he'd take my mom and the 2 girls with him on their first trip. And they all hopped in the back of my dad's mint-condition 1969 white Buick Skylark. Girls were in the back, and when they arrived, my mom opened the rear door and let the girls out. She instantly realized that the relationship was over. The girls had destroyed the back of the car, his vehicle, with food, trash, toys, everything you'd expect. My 2-year-old. But my mom was mortified, and my dad was always unfazed, also fortunate for me. Fast forward 1974, my mom and my dad were married. They moved to Downey, house in Fostoria, and I came along. Lisa attended Warren High School, where she was on cheer, flag squad, ran track. my mom reminded me that track was one of the few sports that girls had available to them at that time. Oh, and by the way, she was Miss September of the high school in 1980. She also graduated in 1980. Lisa, I knew, wanted to be a professional dancer, and if you knew Lisa, she can dance. The leotards and the leg warmers are still ingrained in my head, my brain. Dance class several times a week. Fame was her favorite show. However, Lisa was practical too. So post-graduation, Lisa had been interested in court reporting. The day that she decided that it was absolutely for her was when our mother's boss at the Disney Studios, Dick Morrow, thank you, knew a judge in Downey and arranged for the judge to pick her up, take her to lunch, and then to sit in on his court sessions for the day. She started court reporting school soon after in Downey. My mother reminded me that she used to sit in front of the television, practicing her steno to the verbiage of entire episodes of General Hospital. I always say it's important to be completing two things at once. It seems my sister said it first. When my sister completed school, she was able to find a job in the industry until she landed a job with Miller and Company, Althea, who is in the gathering today. Moving forward, 1997, she decided to start her own court reporting agency out of her house. I remember that too. You might have heard of it, Chase Deposition Services. Grew it to a small Google of an agency, and she ultimately reunited. She ultimately reunited with Althea, purchasing her agency in November of 2017. She and they continued to kick butt, obtaining clients of the likes of Tesla, and all along fostered an infrastructure that could survive a small nuclear attack. You see, my sister was never about herself. People around her were her focus, and she set her personal and professional life to survive well past her. Which brings me to one of my favorite sayings. You might have heard me say it. Doers do. Doers do, don'ters don't. Our parents taught us to be doers. Doers walk a path of few. Doers are the ones that persevere through any obstacle when others are explaining why they can't do something, or give a million reasons why it's too hard, or blame others for their lack of personal success or misfortune. Doers keep at it and find opportunity to succeed. Lisa was a doer. And the ability to do while not becoming cynical, remaining completely generous, kind, enthusiastic, a sparkler, as my mom called her. Her sparkler. I'd say we could all use a dose of her magic. Doers do other things as well. Sometimes they may find opportunities to get in trouble. My sister Kelly told me of a story. I don't think I was around yet, of a time where she and Lisa were cooking fried bologna sandwiches on the stove at her house in Fostoria. Fried bologna sandwiches. It was very 1970s. Evidently the pan caught fire while they were not paying attention and watching TV. They entered the kitchen. The flames were up to the cupboards. They proceeded to put out the fire. However, my parents' classy, bright, yellow cabinets were black with soot. And then they spent the entire afternoon cleaning them the best they could. However, the cabinets were slightly discolored and not quite as bright as they once were. My dad was a fireman at the time in a city over, and they nearly burned the house down. So my parents came home, and they didn't notice the cabinets, or they didn't care to let him know that they knew, that they were toasty. So Beavis and Butthead decided to keep it a secret, which is very disappointing, because I never once kept anything from my parents, in which my friends and I could have landed in jail on multiple occasions, and then only recently confessed theoretical scenarios to them. In Lisa, in her life, Lisa wholeheartedly believed in love. She was also met with disaster. Doers do. She always learned from her experiences, being supremely intelligent. She used those experiences to create an amazing life of success. I never saw her happier than the last 7 years of her life. Oh, and by the way, she had some help with that happiness. When Mike Murphy came along. In the fall of 2013. Mike treated her like royalty. He once told me that he asked her if you could have anything in the world, what would you ask for? She simply replied, to never cry again. Mike made this a reality, for if she was crying, they were tears of happiness. I want to personally thank Lisa for all the memories we shared. Lisa was at home until I was 10 years old. She took care of me when my parents were at work. Many times she was my go-to when I needed help. My first memories of her were around age 2, where I'd be crawling around in my zip-up PJs, the ones with vinyl feet. Strolling around, getting into all of her stuff, makeup, perfume. I broke her Winnie the Pooh berry. Later I look back and I could see how easy it was, and how much my sister cared for me and looked out for me. When she left home in 1985, I did not realize what I was losing. At that point, and there just isn't enough time to quantify what I lost, I just knew I'd be getting in her room, which was twice the size. So simply, thank you, Lisa. For when I was little, you were so kind to me. When I was a pain in the ass. Sorry, Bob. Still a pain in the ass. Sorry. Or a shithead, as my Aunt Connie calls me. For rubbing my head when I was sick with migraines, for taking me to elementary school with Denise and her awesome forbear, for all the trips we took as kids, Oregon to see Kelly, Nebraska to see family, Walt Disney World, and the under construction Epcot tour, where you and I split off from our parents last one and ate a shit ton of frozen yogurt. And I long ago confirmed with my uncle that a SHIT ton is 100, is 100, so now you know. Thank you for giving me your 8-track, because you now own high-tech cassette tape technology. You introduced me to rock and roll with that 8-track. I lost my mind listening to Van Halen for the first time on my own. For always trying to protect me, especially the time when I was jumping makeshift wooden ramps out of 2x4s and plywood. BMX was awesome in the 80s. The jump collapsed. I came off the seat, rammed my boy parts into the gooseneck. Under severe pain and distress, dropped my pants at the corner of Old River School Road in Fostoria. My sister came running to the rescue to cover me and to make sure that everything was still intact. For helping me fish at the Road Resort in Parker. I still have the picture of you taking fish off my line. For always wanting to ski with me, water and snow. I had to add this one this morning because I almost forgot. For teaching me to drive on the 710 freeway in rush hour traffic at the age of 10. See, Lisa worked downtown and she had to, I don't remember, pick up paperwork, give deposition stuff. I don't know. Anyway, she said, you want to see Skid Row? Sure. So we took our time out of downtown and drove through Skid Row. It's quite a thing. However, our extra little detour and her forgetting to put fuel in the vehicle, coming around the turn on the 710 freeway right about Slauson, pitch black, rush hour, car sputtered out. And we're sitting there, people honking at us. My sister said, hop on over, get in the driver's seat. I'll tell you when to brake. She got behind the vehicle of her silver Honda Civic, started pushing on the busy freeway, got to the side of the road, and she's pushing it down the side. I'm staring, terrified. And she said, stop. And so I stopped. Hard. The next thing I heard was a big thud. And I looked back to see her plastered against the rear window, just like you would think it would be. We were pushed off the freeway by a nice gentleman after that into the nice area of Bell Gardens. Thank you, Lisa, for attending all of my accomplishments over the years, for going to one of my single most favorite events of all time, seeing Pearl Jam at the sports arena, which is no longer there. You agreed to go with me, and I prayed you enjoy it. We had the very best time, and you fell in love with Pearl Jam too. You told me the last time you had been to the sports arena was in the 80s. Saw Van Halen. And not a song or two later, guitarist Mike McCready broke out to Eddie Van Halen's Eruption solo off the 1978 self-titled album. It's awesome. It was just meant to be that we were there together. I listen to the bootleg of the concert daily. Thank you for coming to my wedding in Hawaii and taking one of my most treasured photos of you, Kelly, and I, happy and standing proud. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. We're almost done. And so here I am, so honored. I've been speaking on the behalf of the family, our parents, John and Diane Marks, which, by the way, if you do not know these two, please buy a ticket, get in line, and meet them because they are the very definition of special. My beautiful sister Kelly, brother-in-law Guy, nephew Jesse Timmons, my incredibly beautiful family, Katie, thank you for taking care of me. My daughter Carly was not able to make it. She turned 18 and graduated this week. She is not feeling well. Anna Mabel, you might see her running around here. She's got the bright yellow dress. She's also wickedly smart. And our baby girl, due on September 16th. Elizabeth Diane Marks. Lastly, my family and I all want to thank you again for your love, warmth, flowers, cards, personal notes, the numerous gifts. Some of these gifts, I've never seen anything like it. And some very, very, very special thank yous. Lisa's co-workers. Can you guys raise your hands? I won't make you stand. I met with all of you the day after her passing, some of you on the telephone, the conference. I told you how extremely important you are. I said there was going to be a lot of people at this funeral, and I wanted you all to know that Lisa chose you guys for a reason. You guys are at the core, and your loss is not overshadowed by any means. You guys are kicking butt, and I know you guys will continue to be giants. And to my personal heroes, and a little preface to that is I'm a paramedic and a firefighter for LA City Fire. I want to thank LA City Fire for taking care of my family. Father George Negretti took care of our family. But on a daily basis, people come to me and they say, thank you. Thank you for saving our property. Thank you for helping our family member. You're a hero. I don't know anything about that, but these are my heroes. First, Mike Murphy. Mike Murphy, for all intents and purposes, my brother-in-law. For your love for my sister, your care of her, your extraordinary efforts. With your help, we tried like hell to beat this thing. No stone was left unturned, my brother. Let me substantiate what I mean about this man. This here is one of several notepads on a daily basis this man wrote Lisa personal love letters. On a daily basis, he would sit it on the counter in the bathroom. I won't read them. So when she woke up, she shuffled her way to the bathroom. All the meanwhile, looking in the mirror, seeing herself being unrecognizable from her former self, would then see these beautiful words, which continued to substantiate how much she was loved, her worth, and how important she was to his life. again, I've never seen anything like it. Next, John and Diane Marks. Mom, Dad. Sometimes when you hear certain people's names, or actually say them out loud, they have an instant effect on you. In my parents' case, these words, John and Diane Marks, equate to ultimate, unadulterated respect. My parents have been the nucleus for so many people, have helped endless people, and the entire repertoire and resume of tireless experience, kindness, gracefulness, hard work, compassion, generosity was put to the ultimate test this last year. For that she lived in their house, in her spare bedroom. There is no award for this level of effort. There is no grand recognition for the daily acts of these extraordinary people. In fact, it's called the long road. And we've all been on the long road. And to paraphrase one of my favorite lyrical verses, the winds kept roaring. However, Lisa never gave up. And the sky kept turning gray. Even when we thought we had the next best thing and we were going to fix this thing, Lisa never, ever complained. Ever. She said thank you on a daily basis. And now the sun has set. It has set on Lisa. And what a blessed day it was for all of us to be there. And now the sun has risen another day. Today is a new beginning. And Lisa would like us all to smile, laugh, and remember the good times. There may be no grand recognition for those who gave their very best care. However, there is her legacy, her memories, and there's love. We all love you. Thank you for being here. And we all love Lisa. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm going to do something rather unconventional here. I'm going to take a picture of the church. And hold on a second. I've got time to smile. Okay, hold on. Let me text this to heaven so Lisa can see how many people are here. Phenomenal. Awesome. Thank you, Greg, for your wonderful words and your description of Lisa's life. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone here and thank each of you for your outpouring of love, of affection, and of support for Lisa, and for me, and for Lisa's family. It's been incredible, and we're all truly appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you very much. Also, on behalf of the family, I'd like to thank Father Steve and his wonderful staff for allowing us to have the memorial service at Our Lady Queen of Angels Church. And then I'd like to thank you personally, Father Steve, for being the celebrant at Lisa's memorial. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Respectfully, I have to give so much love and appreciation to Lisa's parents, John and Diane Marks, for your amazing devotion and incredible love and support that you gave to Lisa. You're both an example of Christ and truly an example of true love and devotion. I truly look up to you and your unbelievable example of love and leadership in our family. Thank you, John. Thank you, Diane. Lisa adored you guys, and so do I. Lisa has been an amazing gift in my life and so many other people's lives as well. Her energy, her attitude, and her fun is just incredible. Always respectful, always considerate, and always loving. For me, Lisa has been an amazing soulmate, lover, and friend. Someone special to be with, to share life with, and to enjoy life with. She's always been someone who I could love with my whole heart and my whole soul. And she is that beautiful, amazing, incredible person who will love me back and more. Lisa would call me handsome, and I'd call her beautiful. We shared other terms of endearment too, like SS, which meant super sexy. She would sometimes call me her hunky hunk. Those playful, fun, loving, endearing terms just added love and fun and energy to our relationship. She was always very loving and adoring to me, and I to her. From the time we first started dating, I was smitten, and she was too, and we still are. We shared it, we kept it, we held it, and we appreciated it. Lisa Michaels. I love you to heaven and back. Lisa's just an incredible person. She's an incredible daughter, sister, aunt, cousin. She's admired and respected and loved by so many others too. Her friends, her extended family, her employees and her court reporters, her clients and her associates. She's a loyal, loving person who knows how to have fun and how to organize a party, an event, or even a convention. She's a leader and a mentor. There are so many positive, other uplifting words that describe our Lisa. Happy, joyful, respectful, loving, considerate, strong, playful. Oh, and I almost forgot one newly coined word from her best friend, Linda Nelson. Sweetful, which is a combination of sweet and thoughtful. Thank you, Linda, for that description. Another great friend of Lisa's, Ann Toriano, who's here with us today, wrote to her several times, and in this beautiful letter she described her friendship with Lisa. So I took an excerpt from it, and this is part of what she said. It was absolutely beautiful. She writes, I never knew what I did to deserve the privilege of being her friend. Perhaps I never will. It always made me feel special, though, like a chosen few, one of the selected members of the Lisa Club. I've never known a fiercer ally, a more loyal friend. You are a part of my heart, and for that I will forever be grateful. I don't think you ever really truly grasp how many people are inspired by you, admire you, respect you. Sometimes I think you were too modest for your own good. You are a good person, Lisa, one of the best. I hope you know that. I love you so much, and I hope you know that too. So thank you, Anne, for the beautiful, wonderful words, and for the efforts you made as well. On behalf of Lisa's family and myself, and on behalf of Lisa, I have to thank all of you and each of you for all of your outgoing and outpouring of support that you gave to Lisa, to me, and to Lisa's family. Through your prayers, your positive thoughts, your cards, your letters, your texts, your flowers. And thank you particularly for your love and understanding through these last tough 14 months. It has been so appreciated not only by your family and by me, but especially by Lisa. She loved all of you so much. She loves all of you so much. When Lisa and I first started dating, I met up with her mom and dad, and they said they were happy we were dating. And I remember they told me, just have fun. And we did. dating, dancing, traveling, playing, working together on home projects and family projects. And all the time, Lisa was so diligent about building and developing her business, Chase Definition Services. She was classy, dignified, fun, even a little shy at times. But she had the drive and organization skills and accomplished a tremendous amount. And every time I would see Lisa, she would look at me with those big, beautiful brown eyes and just light up and make me feel like $1 million. Back at the beginning of 2018, a couple of weeks before Lisa was diagnosed, she had 2 conventions back to back, one in Boston and one in Chicago. She was gone for 8 or 9 days. When she got back, she told me, "Mike, 8 days is just too long to be apart. I really missed you." And I missed her too. Then a few days later, I got a card in the mail. It was beautiful. And I opened it, and on the outside of the card, it was printed, "All of me loves all of you." And on the inside of the card, she wrote, "Mike, you stole my heart. Mike, you stole my heart. You loved me back and more. You taught me love languages. You are the perfect man for me. All of me truly loves all of you. Lisa." 2 weeks later, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. The evening after Lisa's passing, I had a Murphy family gathering, kind of our own little vigil for Lisa. On a moment's notice, 30 Murphys showed up, and after we had a glass of wine or two, Murphy gathered, come on, and a beer or two, and ate something. We all sat down in the family room, and we shared about Lisa. I shared 2 letters with my family at that time. One was a love letter that I had written her, and the second one was a letter about a prayerful discussion that I had with my parents, who both made it to heaven before Lisa. I feel it appropriate to share with you guys that today, like I did with my family a couple weeks ago. My love letter said, "My dearest Lisa, words cannot describe the deepest love I have for you. You are such an incredible person in my life. You have touched my heart, and you have touched the depth of my soul. You are an amazing woman and lover and friend to me. I can't realize how blessed I feel to have you in my life. You have shared the wonderful last 5 years of memories, vacations, adventures, dancing, dining, having fun, hanging out, sharing accomplishments, and growing together. The love that I feel and the memories that we have created and shared, and the whole overall feelings of happiness, joyfulness, playfulness, consideration, comfort, respect, maturity, yet childlike fun and simplicity, and romance, yes, romance, were amazing. We are so fortunate to be together sharing this part of our life. I like it when you say, Lisa, it was meant to be. And I do think that we, in this last 5 years, are meant to be. I love you higher than the sky. I love you higher than the heavens. I love you wider than the skies. I love you deeper than the oceans. I love you with my whole heart and my whole soul. All of me truly loves all of you. So I read that to Lisa as well. She gave that to her. About a week before Lisa passed away, I had a prayerful discussion with my deceased parents. I made a short visit to St. Anne's Parish in Seal Beach, and I particularly prayed to Jesus and to my mom and dad to give me guidance with Lisa in her final days. When I got into my car, I was inspired and listened to my heart, and I wrote down the prayerful discussion that I heard in my heart to give the message to Lisa. It said, Dear Lisa, I talked with my mom and dad in prayer today and asked them if they would be there to greet you when you went to heaven. I saw them look at each other and then look at me with loving eyes and say, of course, you didn't even have to ask. They said that they are already looking at you right now with loving eyes and recognizing how special you are. They said that they will be there with open arms and loving smiles and gratitude to you and the incredible person and spirit that you are. They also said that they want to express their gratitude for making their son Mike so happy, and thanks for being so loving, respectful, and considerate to our family. They will be overjoyed to be there, too, and to share this beautiful place that is called heaven. And they also asked me to tell you not to be afraid, that you will be in a place of tremendous love and comfort. I asked them to share with you, my Lisa, their place of watching over me, being a second guardian angel to me. They reassured me of their love and God's love and said it was very lovely, safe, wonderful place. I thank them for this prayerful message and as I share it with you. I read this to Lisa 3 days before she passed. Knowing Lisa and the wonderful person she is today, I know that she is sharing that beautiful place in heaven with them. In a final message from Lisa to all of you, her friends and family, she would like to tell you, and I was inspired by this too, thank you for letting me share and be a part of your lives. And thank you for sharing and being a wonderful part of mine. In closing, I'd like to say to Lisa, we all miss you immensely. We promise to take you with us and keep you in our prayers and memories. We'll make sure that you live on with us forever. Thank you, and God bless you.
Chance has not brought this ill to me. It's God's own hand, so let it be. For He sees what I cannot see. There is a purpose for each pain, and He someday will make it plain that earthly loss is heavenly gain. Life is a piece of tapestry. You'd find the path appears to be. Only threads tangled over the sea. But in the front a picture fair rewards the worker for his care, proving his stand and patience rare. You are the workman I pray, Lord, for the glory of your name, perfect your image on the same.
full of people. It looks awesome from up here, you guys. Super cool. A reading from the prophet Isaiah. You will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills will burst into song before you, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands. This will be for the Lord's renown, for an everlasting sign which will not be destroyed. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Good morning, everyone. As I've been sitting there, I've been thinking, seeing all these lovely faces here, these people who all knew, loved, respected, admired Lisa. There is no one who would enjoy this gathering more than Lisa herself. So I'm glad she's with us. My name is Toni Pallone, and like Lisa, I'm a court reporter, a fellow member of DRA, the Deposition Reporters Association of California, and most importantly, a friend of Lisa Michaels. On behalf of the many court reporters and reporting firm owners that are here today to celebrate Lisa's life, I'd like to share with all of you what a lasting impact she has had on our state association and the reporting profession nationally. As Greg has told us, Lisa first dreamed about license as a certified shorthand reporter in 1984 and began working as a freelance deposition reporter for Althea Miller. And then in 1987, she boldly struck out on her own as Chase Reporting, her firm that she later renamed as Chase Litigation Services, running her new firm out of a spare bedroom in her home. Then in 2004, Lisa, fortunately for us, was persuaded to join the DRA Board of Directors representing Orange County by another reporter and board member who had already recognized Lisa's many talents. When Lisa first attended our board meetings, she was very quiet and barely spoke at all. And some of us assumed that she was just shy or nervous or had nothing to contribute, but we soon learned how very wrong we were about that. She was just carefully listening, watching, and learning as Lisa did in every situation. And soon, very soon, she began speaking and offering bright, creative ideas and volunteering for one committee after another, always the toughest ones, the ones that needed the most work. And eventually, she became our president and served 2 terms, from 2010 to 2012. In her first year as president, she bravely took on then Governor Schwarzenegger when he publicized that he wanted to replace all court reporters with electronic recording because, as he said, reporters were not needed. And so Lisa filmed a powerful video in defense of DRA and reporters everywhere to respond to the Terminator. And she led off this video, again bravely, saying, "With respect, I must tell you, you simply have no idea what you are talking about." And she was absolutely right, of course. Her video quickly went viral and she became an instant star with reporters across the nation. That video from 2010 remains on YouTube today with over 23,000 views. And if you've never seen it, you should go look for it. Lisa was not naturally comfortable in the limelight, but that video demonstrates how she was willing to stretch herself to grow into her role as president in order to do what was needed. Her impulse to create something dramatic and effective to defend our profession overrode any reticence to take center stage that she had. as it did many more times during her presidency. In her second year as president, she took on another national challenge. When it was discovered that a past president of the National Court Reporters Association had taken a job with an electronic recording company and was using her former position as president to promote electronic recording in the courts, Lisa knew something had to be done. And she wrote a demand letter to the National Association that attracted 400 signatures from across the country and ultimately resulted in that membership's termination. And Lisa was only getting started. In her role as president, she revealed that special leadership skills that she had, not by directing or instructing people, but by encouraging them, inspiring, convincing them that they could do things they didn't believe they were capable of. This not only provides people with the self-confidence they need, but drives them to do their best, so as not to let themselves or their leader down. And this was a secret of Lisa's successful leadership. She applied those skills in leading the DRA board through lessons in everything from the use of social media to how to choreograph a flash mob dance. Her talents were that varied. Her service to DRA continued on beyond her presidency as she accepted various committee positions and volunteer roles. One of them, a newsletter editor, and because we have some newsletter and past newsletter editors in the room here today, they know what a difficult job that is. And Lisa, of all people, volunteered for it. Didn't have to be asked to do it. And that same hard work and dedication, serving in so many roles within DRA, ultimately earned her DRA's highest honor, the Distinguished Service Award, in 2016. While she was devoting so much of this time and effort to our state association, Lisa was also finding time to work with and mentor reporting students, one of her favorite things to devote herself to. She was making herself available for regular visits to speak at reporting schools and meet with students individually to offer her advice and provide them opportunities to intern with her working reporters for that valuable hands-on experience that you don't get in school. Her personal investment in the future of our profession is memorialized now by the establishment of the Lisa Michaels Scholarship Fund. And anyone who wishes to honor Lisa, as she had requested, may donate to the fund, and DRA is currently accepting donations on behalf of Lisa's family. At last count, I understand the fund had collected $20,000, a testament that in this short time, there are so many people that wanted to pay their tribute to our dear Lisa. The leadership skills that came so naturally to Lisa extended also to the reporters who worked with Lisa's growing business and to her office staff that grew along with the firm. As Chase outgrew that spare bedroom it started in, Lisa selected and trained a service-conscientious staff who remain now dedicated to the firm's growth. Lisa always treated her staff as collaborators, making them essential contributors to the success of her business, to its professionalism and the development of client relationships. They felt like family more than employees and loved her dearly, and are as dedicated as Lisa was to making Chase the best it could possibly be. These women are now running the firm under the guidance of Linda Nelson, Linda's best friend, who took on the running of Chase in Lisa's absence when she became ill. And they continue on in the pursuit of excellence that Lisa encouraged in all of them. They have managed to keep Chase running well during this past very difficult year, thanks to the example set by Lisa originally and to the faithful attention of Linda. Linda has been the best friend anyone could ever hope for. stepping into Lisa's place, attending to all the demands of a very busy reporting firm, and relieving Lisa of any worries about the continuity of the business that she cared so deeply about. I'd like to add here a thank you to Ann Toriano, whom Mike already talked about, another fellow reporter, another DRA past president, and a very close friend of Lisa's, from whom I borrowed some details that I've talked about today for Lisa's history, but most especially for a Facebook post that Ann put up the day after Lisa passed, which included a very comforting thought. It's still comforting to me and hopefully to others. That Lisa is up in heaven with the angels, organizing their first dance party. And having been one of Lisa's dance trainees some years ago at a convention, I understand what that can be like. I can see Lisa, I picture it perfectly. All the little angels are lined up. Tallest in the back, shortest in the front. And Lisa's very patiently teaching them all the steps. And as hard as it may be for them to grasp it, she's going to work with them until they've got it down and they're good. And she's not going to let them perform until they are. But no matter how hard they have to work, they will all be having a wonderful time and laughing. And I know that with Lisa there guiding them, that heaven will be a happier place than ever. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, and on behalf of Lisa's friends, I would like to take a moment to thank Father Steve, Lisa's brother Greg, her life partner Mike, her good friend Tony, for all speaking so beautifully and movingly about Lisa. And also on behalf of Lisa's friends, I want to say something in particular about someone in particular. Gratitude is something I'm going to speak about in a moment. And Mike, we are also deeply grateful that you came into Lisa's life. Not just because you gave her the happiest years of her life when, as it turned out, she needed it the most. No, Mike, Lisa's friends, especially Lisa's girlfriends, are grateful you came into her life because this gorgeous, smart, and brilliant woman, this shrewd, resourceful businesswoman, this professional leader, this woman of awesome competence, well, how do I say this delicately? Lisa Michaels, when it came to men, let me put it this way. If there was a police lineup of the best men in the world, this girl would somehow pick the bad one. No, really. She was awful at it. Let me tell you all a story. Not long after she became single again, Lisa said she wanted some girlfriend time. So we went to a bar one night after a DRA board meeting. Of course it was a bar with music. Of course it was a bar with dancing. Before I knew it, I'm sitting in a booth by myself and Lisa's out on the dance floor, dancing her heart out with some guy who was just so yucky. I mean, any woman could see how bad this guy was from space. And let me tell you, I am not happy. Not happy at all. Because this breaks one of the cardinal girlfriend rules. A rule Lisa herself taught me. On a girl's night out, don't spend too much time flirting with one boy. Because then, that boy is impossible to get rid of. And girls' night out, ruined. And sure enough, the song ends, and he and Lisa come over toward me, and pretty soon this guy and his flashy clothes are in my booth, ruining our girls' night out. And I have only one thought: how do I get rid of him? So I think to myself, I have been in over like 1 million depots, right? I know how to ask questions. So I start deposing this guy. As Lisa is politely sipping on her vodka soda he oh so generously ordered for her. I fired one question after another at him. And I met with brag after brag after brag. He said, this hugely successful doctor, owned a Miami mansion, he said, fleet of fancy sports cars. But ladies and gentlemen, I was relentless. Leaning forward, eyes squinting, I was, my friends, the baddest lawyer you ever saw. And Lisa, she's actually kicking me under the table, looking at me, why are you giving this guy such a hard time? But I kept at it. And you know when on TV or in the movies, a witness cracks under pressure and confesses? This guy, he suddenly throws his big leg up in the air, slams it on the table, yanks up his pant leg, and says, okay. And there on this leg of this guy, the guy that Lisa handpicked from a room full of men to bring back to our table on one of our very first nights out, a huge criminal ankle bracelet. Medicare fraud. 30 years. Sentence beginning tomorrow. He was innocent, he said. Bad rap, I said. As I dragged Lisa out of the bar and we got outside, Lisa stops and looks at me and says through tears and laughter, oh my God, she says, I think my picker is off. I put my arm around her, and as we were walking away, I tell her, oh honey, your picker isn't off, it's totaled. So Mike, thank God for you. You are a miracle worthy of this church. What makes that story such a good one about Lisa is because right in the moment, she was able to laugh at herself. She loved to laugh. She loved good mischief. She loved to play. I remember the time I broke my foot and 2 toes. I was running at full speed, barefoot, in the dark, chasing after a puppy. And I accidentally kicked a huge 50-pound decorative cement turtle located on the backyard walkway. For the next 2 years, Lisa would randomly text me pictures of turtles, post pictures on Facebook, warning me of the hidden dangers of lurking turtles, hiding ninja-like around every corner in Southern California. That was Lisa, making me smile by tormenting me with turtle pictures. She was also the girl who loved every new pair of shoes like a teenage girl loves a new boyfriend. She, and I'm not joking about this, took photos of each pair, pasted them on the outside of the original boxes, and stored them in her closet, neatly lined up in their designated spots. Yes, she loved her shoes. But here's the funny thing. She had on many different occasions forgotten to wear them on the way to one of her depots. More times than I can remember, I received an early morning panicked phone call from her informing me she had, once again, left her house without her shoes. And she'd be making do with her workout shoes that were in the back of her trunk, hoping no one would notice. But I'd say the very best time was when Lisa, in deep desperation, wore 2 left high heels, shoes through depot because she had got dressed in the dark and grabbed the wrong shoes. Now, if you can all just take a moment and imagine in your mind's eye, Lisa Michaels, the hotshot professional, looking totally gorgeous, not a single hair out of place, dressed to the nines, a sexy, successful, perfectly dressed Lisa Michaels, forcing a grimace smile on her pretty face in total pain and total agony, as she limped and lurched forward on 2 red left high heel shoes down a fancy law firm hallway. Now imagine that woman for a second. No, really, go ahead, imagine her. See her? That total goofball? That crazy, beautiful blonde? That's the Lisa Michaels we came to celebrate today. Talking about Lisa for me is hard, and not just because of why we are all here today. It is hard because there isn't a word that truly captures my relationship with Lisa. What she meant to me, what we meant to each other. Lisa was family to me, sure. She was part of my support system, a part of my everyday life. But she was also my boss, my mentor, and colleague. We worked every day, and every day we worked together. We also played together and went through life together. The hurt, the love, the joy, everything. Just everything. If there was a word that combines the ideas of sister, best friend, soulmate, partner, spouse, love of my life, if there was such a word, that is the word that would come close to describing the way I felt about Lisa. Like everybody else, I admired the imaginative and dedicated business person, the industry leader, the charismatic personality who, if she met your eyes, cocked her head, and smiled at you with that, "I see you," knowing grin, caused everyone to fall in love with her just a bit. But that isn't the Lisa I loved, or the Lisa who loved me. The pretty girl with the busted man figure, the woman who saw princes in the most obviously horrible frogs, the woman who tormented me with love note turtles, the private woman who cried and hurt and yearned, but still through it all, laughed and laughed and laughed at herself. The woman who found so much fun in the world she has left far too soon. That's my butterfly. That's the Lisa I loved. And I think the reason we all feel the way we do about her, the reason we are all here today, the reason this feels so very wrong and bad, is because our crazy lives, our soaring joys, our darkest sorrows, our competitive successes in business, the quiet, fulfilled promise of holding hands with our parents and children, the true love for a good man who's finally your warm home, the friendships that give our lives its danceable music. All of our lives seemed somehow, just seemed bigger, sexier, more fun, more hilarious, more adventurous, more safe, because if she was your friend, she was there for you always, knowing just what to say and what to do. Life was just way better, way better. All our lives were just more alive with Lisa Michaels in it. Lisa was better at enjoying life in all its bumper car wackiness than anyone I have ever met. It is why, although I was with her when she passed, I still can't believe she was gone. None of us can. I have a hole in my heart now. It hurts still like a punch to the chest. I also know that it won't last. I know it will graduate to just an ache, an awareness of a pain instead of the pain itself. I also know it won't heal. But the scar tissue that will form around it, I also know what that scar tissue will be. And it will be this: gratitude. The deepest gratitude my soul can feel. To Lisa's friends and family and cherished colleagues, even though I am soaked in grief today, I cannot deny that I feel something else. I cannot deny that I also feel like I am the luckiest woman in the world. I'm the luckiest woman in the world for one simple reason. Lisa Michaels, my sweet Lisa, my friend, my sister from another mister, my laugh at life partner in crime, my confidant, my twice daily call, the person who I depended on to talk over life and family and hurt and joy, the friend of my dreams, my teacher, my cheerleader, my big sister, my inspiration. I'm the luckiest woman in the world because I only get one life, and in that one life, I got to love you, Lisa Michaels, and I always will. Hold the place on the dance floor for me, my sweet little friend. I look forward to dancing with you again forever.
And so, as I mentioned, our Catholic thing, we usually stand when we read Scripture from one of the four Gospels. And this is the Scripture I chose today for our closing. It may not be the one that Diane wanted, but it's the one I chose. It's where I got led by the Spirit. Then Jesus came with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, that is, the place of the olive press. And he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took along Peter and two sons of Zebedee, and then began to feel great sorrow and distress. Then he said to them, "My soul is sorrowful even to death. Remain here, keep watch with me." Jesus advanced a little and fell prostrate in prayer, saying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." But drawing a second time, he prayed again, "Father, if it is not possible that this cup pass without my drinking it, then your will be done." He returned to his disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? Behold, the hour is at hand when the Son of Man is to be handed over to sinners. Get up, let us go. My betrayer is at hand." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please, if you would now just be seated for the final hymn. Wow, that's a pretty incredible telling of a person's life. I'm a lot older than Lisa was, and they would never tell such good stories about me. So it's not just about longevity of life, it's the quality of life, about trying to raise a clueless brother who in some ways is probably still just a little bit clueless. Just kidding. He's a big guy, no left hand side. To actually tell Mike how sexy he looks. You know, that takes a great breath there of love. To be able to say that. And to mean it. To have the respect of other people who work in your same profession. To be able to get up and speak about the quality not only of her work, her company, but the quality of her friendships and relationships in a very tough, competitive line of work. To be able to have someone get up and be able to say, she was not only my big sister, she was also a mentor, one who showed me about life. So there's a lot to be thankful for about Lisa's life. So why bring up the Garden of Gethsemane? Why have that picture of Jesus not healing or saying wise things to people on a hillside like the Beatitudes, or all the miracles that we all prayed for Lisa, that she would be healed? Why go to a place like the garden the night before Jesus gives over his life to the cross? This would be the reason why, at least from my perspective. Because this telling of the story of Jesus' final hours speak about the completeness and the frailty of his humanity. The humanity that you and I all experience. That as much as we would wish and hope and prepare for, that life would just be one miracle after another, there are times for us, no matter how faithful we are or not, that the Lord will demand from us these challenging times. And we can either run from them, or we begin to acknowledge and then embrace them. I have no doubt, because Michael and Lisa's parents shared with me, would she have rather chosen a different path? Would she have loved them to wake up one morning and say, I'm healed? Or to be able to come back from successful medical procedures, it's over, the cancer is at bay? Yes. Of course she would. And of course she prayed that way. But what I also have come to know is this: if this cup cannot pass me by, then your will be done. And that ultimately is the great test and statement of what it really means to be human in this life, is that we are not the final answer. Almighty God is. And how we in some way or another come to understand his will for us is the real litmus test, is the real crucible of our life. To be able to still choose love, even when life seems to be against you. That is the great test. And Lisa chose that test and accepted it, and continued to love you in so many different and wonderful ways, even as her life began to diminish. But as her life began to diminish, I have this sneaking feeling that her spirit grew stronger. Because that's why you're here. That's why you're here as a mom and a dad, or a brother or a sister, or someone who loved her greatly. But because you know she lived out this test. Did you all pray like Jesus? Oh Lord, let this cup pass her by. Absolutely. But that was not to be. But an act of faith brought you here today. Because it's not just about telling the story of how her life intersected with yours. And that is so tremendously crucial, real. But it's also how the life of Jesus intersected with hers. To embrace what was to come, you did. To embrace what was to come, Lisa did. And that is part of the celebration of life, which we acknowledge and we accept, and in some way try to say, thank you, Lord, for this amazing life that you gave her, even as it unfolded before her and within her. Now, I grew up in a normal family. Father Bill didn't, but I grew up in a fairly normal family. And I remember that when my grandmother could no longer live by herself. My dad, her only and youngest son, took her in. But what that really meant was that my mother was going to have to take care of her mother-in-law. And they did that through all of my grandmother's final years. And my mother took care of her in a way that she took care of us as kids. And I remember my father was not a man of many words. But he said this after my grandmother's funeral. He said, "I never knew how much your mother loved me until I saw how she took care of my mother." And that phrase, which my father said many years ago, has always stuck with me as the real test of love and grace and tenderness is when it's difficult. When you're on the dance floor, that's one thing. When you're on a vacation and everything is up, that's one thing. But it's in the real crucible of life that love becomes very real and very close. So you have many reasons to be thankful today that while your love was tested, you know it was and it is real because you came close to what the meaning of life ultimately is. To be able to embrace it as it is and still choose to love. Lisa knows that now. And she is with Jesus, and she's been set free. And for that we give thanks, and we should, and we must. And that image that I have of Pat and Mike's mom and dad saying, "Lisa's here, we're ready to greet her." They would probably also add, "Well, about our two sons, we're not so sure. They may have to wait a little while." But it's the gift of Lisa's life in the way that she accepted it, in the way that she embraced it, all of those many years and those many facets of her life, that today we give thanks. That Jesus says to her today, "You have my love completely." And that's what Lisa also says to us. "You have my love completely." And from this day forward, look for those love notes that I will leave behind in the places of your hearts and your minds and your memories. Because as real as they were, you discover them as she did on a mirror in her bathroom. So you will find those love notes from the Lord, from Lisa, because you chose to love her. She chose to love you. And for that today, we give thanks. Then when we go from this sacred place, peace and love and thankfulness.
The world